I'm glad to get you in the air-conditioned room after you've been braving the heat of the Las Vegas summer.
It's the air conditioning's nice.
Yeah, just a little bit. But you're talking about going to Arizona after this, which is even hotter.
Yeah,
here.
Yep. They have melted trash cans there. You ever seen the standard green trash cans like start to slightly bend and kind of crumple?
Yeah,
yeah, and like you got to get over 120, and they've had a couple days like that.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I was gonna say Vegas gets like 115, 116, which is already too damn hot, to be clear.
Too damn hot, yeah.
But I was in Bullhead City, Arizona, which is where Lake Mojave is, by border of Laughlin, Yeah. And we were there for a houseboat trip with my family for a few years back.
Yeah.
It was 126. And I was like, this shouldn't be allowed on the planet. No. This is too hot. Like, we should not exist here right now. This is ridiculous.
Heat kills a lot more people than cold.
Does it?
Yeah. And that surprises everyone when you think about
kidding.
it. Yeah, we can survive cold very well. It doesn't mean it's comfortable.
I was going to say, is that the reason for all the cold plunge stuff that's happening right now?
No, the cold plunge stuff is really all about hype.
Really?
Yeah, there have been
I'd love to hear more about
two
that,
great studies that have come out recently that really, it shows that it doesn't enhance your recovery ability at all. It does take away inflammation markers that cause growth.
So that's not a good thing.
That's not a good thing. So, a lot of people, and of course, there is a tiny effect on brown fat.
Okay.
So, like, you drop temperature low enough. The idea is that if you can form an ice crystal in fat, the ice crystals are shaped in a way where they puncture the cell membrane of some of the fat cells and force them to metabolize, because once they don't have a cell membrane anymore, they're just sort of free flowing in the circulatory system. That claim is marginally true, but brutally exaggerated by the people who sell cold therapy stuff. So, like, I like cold therapy. I would do cold therapy if I had a cold plunge. I would have to get my wife's buy-in.
Yeah, good luck.
So, right. I mean, like, I will spend those chips where I have to. I'm not going to spend it on a cold plunge.
On a cold plunge, yeah.
No, I mean, if we build a nice big house.
Like there is improvement, but like not a $15,000 cold plunge in your basement improvement.
Here's right. Exactly. Like, to me, it's worth it if the money it's going to cost is nothing to you, and if you want to basically replace your morning coffee with a cold plunge. Because to start the day, to get circulation going, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely better blood flow, better than the vasoconstriction provided by caffeine, which also has a couple of downsides. So, like, I'm 50-50. I especially am very aware of some of the downsides of caffeine because I had an H. pylori infection for 7 years. You probably don't know what that is.
Yeah, please explain.
No one in America knows what. In fact, American doctors don't even know what.
I was going to say my naturopathic doctor talks about it fairly frequently, but
okay. Well, that guy.
But I'd love an explanation though.
So it's a bacteria, lives in your stomach. It consumes the mucous membrane of the human stomach, also animal stomachs, but basically it just makes you like bloated, like you wouldn't believe. And I mean, I was to the point where I had trouble breathing.
So it like damage your gut microbiome?
It's not a microbiome thing. That's before we get to the microbiome. It's the stomach.
Got it.
It doesn't seem to have much of a knock-on effect into the rest of the digestive system. But having ulcers all over the lining of your stomach really sucks, and it is very limiting, and it takes years to heal from it.
And there's a correlation for you between that and caffeine?
So caffeine really brutalizes these ulcers. So you've got to like either like massively limit and dilute or eliminate. So like, I have a pre-workout called Imperium. I make that shit so diluted that it's like I'll drink a liter of water for like a quarter a scoop. And like, that's the only way I'll like get, some. So I become a low caffeine guy, not by choice. Okay. Just, kind of like forced.
Do you do anything else for like energy boosts or?
Most of the stuff out there is just bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it is. A lot of like energy drinks.
It's like you want to believe it so much.
Of course. So, well, I mean, hey, that's why people buy most stuff, because they want to believe it.
Right.
And
they're looking for the reasons to justify their decision they've already made.
Every listener like who's doing something entrepreneurial needs to consider the fact that no matter what their claim is, people are initially going to say bullshit, because most of the stuff out there is kind of wishful thinking or what people want to hear. The majority of nutrition programs, like, you know, a lot of different influencers that have, like, you know, sign up for my 12-week program. I'm going to totally change your nutrition. You're going to live a better lifestyle. And don't worry, you get to eat pizza and donuts. And it's like, right, it's just telling people what they want to hear. And then, of course, they get into the material and then they're like, oh, I can have like a piece of pizza once a month.
Yeah.
And that's not what they wanted to hear.
So I have this gross keto cookie that doesn't taste like a cookie.
Right. It tastes more like algae or something, which is probably made of algae. You know, it's like,
it's not made of cookie. I'll tell you that.
It's not a cookie. It's whatever. But
I think I'd rather just have a cookie.
And it's so like much of a struggle. And you know, it's just people need to. But look how much people love the stuff that they want to hear.
Yeah,
we are at a place in society where people would pick a news channel, and I'll just say what I'm thinking. You know, they watch CNN. Mm-hmm. Almost everything on CNN is an absolute lie. Almost everything. Yet people still choose to only immerse themselves in CNN because it's like, it's the news they want. Mm. You know, they want to believe Orange Man bad. They want to believe, you know, I don't have a side in this argument.
Yeah.
Like when it comes to science,
it's
just like, I don't give a shit who wins president. But
yeah, to me, it's always like the polar opposite sides tend to be that way almost exclusively because they're only getting their information from this one thing, this one source, and they only talk to other people who agree with that
total
source
echo
as well.
Chamber behavior.
They create this world that exists only for them.
For them, and it's not true anyway. Not true. Right. And actually both sides do that same thing.
Yeah.
But like, you know, CNN is just like an example of like where like you can demonstrate how almost everything they say is false, yet they run with that ball all day, every day. And it's like, who's watching this crap? Like apparently like a decent amount of people.
I was going to say a decreasing number though, because their ratings keep going down all the time.
Right. Well, you know, it probably sucks for the people that really want to believe in, you know, like what the current president has said, but then the economy keeps getting worse and worse and worse despite everything the guy's saying. So it's like, okay, you're wrong.
Right.
You know, it's like, but you know, they're not going to wave the flag and say, excuse me, I was wrong about everything. Like, no, they're not going to do that.
That doesn't feel good. You know what I mean?
Right. And when it comes to a lot of science and nutrition stuff, like
it's the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Like the guys that are telling people to eat less carbohydrates, they're saying something that's unpopular. Like anyone who tells you to eat less carbohydrates is probably somebody you should follow because that person is, number one, correct. Number two, saying something that is massively unpopular.
Yeah.
Like you're going to lose followers by saying people can't have, or they shouldn't be having, or they should have the least amount possible of candy and cookies and cake. And, you know, like, why would you say that? There's only one reason. Because it's true.
It's uncomfortably accurate.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I like that. I'm going to use that. Uncomfortably accurate. Yeah.